Hello, my dear students. Welcome to my channel. Here we'll study 12th Standard Biology. Lesson number 1, Reproduction in Higher and Lower Plants, Part 5. Points of this video: Seeds and Fruit Development, Significance of Seed and Fruit Development, Apomixis, Parthenocarpy, Polyembryony. In double fertilization, the flowering plant, the post fertilization changes in the flower leads to the formation of the seed and the fruit. The entire process transforms the fertilized ovule into a seed and the ovary into a fruit. Now, the seed development. Seed development is a complex process that begins immediately after double fertilization. This process involves the transformation of a ovule into a seed. The protective structure that houses the plant embryo. Zygote to embryo. Now see, we will see here the process. Zygote to embryo, the first step. In this step, the diploid zygote, which is 2n in number, which is formed by the fusion of a male gamete with a egg cell, undergoes repeated mitotic cell division. Now, this develops into the embryo, which is the young rudimentary plant. The embryo consists of the radicle, embryonic root, the plumule, embryonic shoot, and one or two cotyledons, seeds or leaves that provides the nourishment. Now, primary endosperm nucleus to endosperm, the triploid primary endosperm nucleus, which is 3 in number, which is formed by the fusion of other male gametes. Nourishment rich tissues that serves as a primary food source for the developing embryo. In some plants like castor, the endosperm persists in the developing embryo, consumes all the endosperms, and the food is stored in the cotyledons, which is also called as non-endospermic seeds. Now the next one is ovule to seeds. The ovules protective layers called integuments harden and transform into the seed coat or testa. This tough outer layer protects the embryo from mechanical damage and desiccation. The entire fertilized ovule, now containing the embryo and endosperm, matures into the seed. The seed can then enter a state of dormancy until conditions are favorable for germination. The fruit development. We'll see here the fruit development. Simultaneously with the seed development, the ovary of a flower undergoes significant changes to become the fruit. The primary function of the fruit are protect the developing seeds and to aid in their dispersal. Now here we see the ovary to fruit, the process. After fertilization, the ovary wall matures and thickens, forming the pericarp. On the fruit wall, the pericarp can be fleshy, like in a mango or guava, or dry, like in a nut. Now, the next stage is the post fertilization changes. Here, we'll see which changes will come after the fertilization. As the fruit develops, the other parts of the flower, such as petals, sepals, and stamens, usually whiter and falls off. The ovary, however, enlarges with the cell division and expansion, leading to the growth and maturation of a fruit. This process is largely regulated by plant hormones like auxins and gibberellins. Now here we'll see the significance of a seed development. Seed development is a culmination of sexual reproduction in plants. A seed is not just a unit of reproduction, it is a higher evolved package that contains the future of a plant. Now, protection of the embryo, it will comes the first. The hard seed coat called testa, which develops from the integuments of the ovule, provides a protection barrier for the dedicated plant embryo against mechanical injury. Now, desiccation or drying the fruit and attacks by pest by pathogens. This protection allows the embryo in severe harsh environmental conditions. Now we'll see here the significance in detail. The first one is the nutrient storage. Seeds contain a food reserve in either in the form of endosperm or within the cotyledons. They store energy rich in proteins, carbohydrates, and oils, provide necessary nourishment for the young seeds during its initial growth phase before it is capable of perform photosynthesis. The next is the dormancy and survival. Seeds can enter a state of dormancy. Their metabolic activity is greatly reduced. This allows the seeds to delay germination until environmental conditions, example temperature, moisture or light, are favorable for the growth and survival to the new plant. This is a crucial adaptation for plants in temperature climates or those with unpredictable rainfall. The next is the genetic variation. Since seeds are productive of sexual reproduction, double fertilization, they contain a new combination of genetic information from both parents. This genetic recombination leads to variation within the species, which enhances the plant's ability to adapt to changing environments and is the basis of evolution. Now, the last one is the colonization of new habitats. The dormant and protected nature of seeds, along with their food reserves, makes them highly effective units of dispersal. This allows plant to colonize new areas, reducing competition with the parent plant and other offsprings. Significance of fruit development. Fruit development is closely linked to seed development and serves several key functions, primarily to protect and dispersal the seeds. Now, the first is the seed protection. The primary function of fruit is to protect the developing seeds from mechanical damage and herbivorous. The tough, green, and often bitter nature of an unique fruit makes it unappealing to animal, ensuring the seeds are not consumed before they are mature. Dispersal of a seed. Fruits have evolved various mechanisms to aid in a seed, which is essential for the colonization of new habitats. The next one is the animal dispersal. Fleshy, sweet, and brightly colored fruits attract animals like birds and mammals. The animals eat the fruits, digest and fleshy part, and then excrete the seeds, often far from the parent plant. Some seeds have wind dispersal have hook or barbs to attach on an animal's fur. The next is the weight dispersal. Dry fruits which with wings, example maple summers or feathery appendages, example dangling, are adapted to be carried by the wind. The next is the water dispersal. Fruits with bicovalent are and waterproof structure can float and carried by water currents to new location. Now the next is the mechanical dispersal. Some fruits have built-in mechanism to explode or forcefully eject seeds when ripened, scattering them over a small distance. Now, the next is the nutritional value for the ecosystem. Fruits are vital food source for wide range of animals, including humans. They provide essential vitamins and the other minerals and energy, forming a cultural link in a food web. Economic importance: fruits, seeds, grains, legumes, and nuts are the cornerstone of global agriculture, providing the majority of human food and significant portion of animal feed. Crops like wheat, rice, corns, and countless fruits are all the result of seeds and fruit development, which makes understanding these process crucial for increasing crop yield and ensuring food security. Now we'll see here the dormancy. It is a state of temporary suspension of growth and metabolic activity in an organism. It is a survival strategy used by plants, animals, and other organisms to endure unfavorable environmental conditions such as extreme cold, heat, or drought. Types of dormancy. Dormancy can be classified in various ways, but in plants, it is the most commonly discussed into context: seed dormancy and bud dormancy. Now we'll see here the first: seed dormancy. A mature, viable seed is considered dormant when it fails to germinate even under ideal conditions. This type of dormancy is an evolutionary adaptation that prevents seeds from sprouting at the wrong time, which would likely lead to stealing the death. The causes of seed dormancy. The first one is the physical dormancy. It is a hard, impermeable seed coat, prevents water and gases from reaching the embryo. This is the common mechanical in legumes and many traditional species. The second one is physiological dormancy. The embryo itself has a metabolic block that prevents germination. This is often due to the presence of chemical inhibitors such as abscisic acid or the absence of growth promotes like gibberellins. Now, the next is microphological dormancy. The embryo is undeveloped at the time of seed dispersal and needs time to mature before it can germinate. Now, the next one is the bud dormancy. This refers to the temporary suspension of growth in buds on woody plants. It is a key survival mechanism for trees and shrubs in temperate climate to protect them from winter freezing. But photoperiod or daylight and dropping temperature. Significance of dormancy. Dormancy is the crucial survival mechanism with significant ecological and agricultural benefit. The first one is the survival under unfavorable conditions. Dormancy always organism to survive period of stress. In winter, freezing temperature or a long dry session by considering energy and protecting diseases tissue. Now, next one is synchronized growth and reproduction. Dormancy ensures that growth and reproduction only occur when conflicts are favorable. For instance, seeds germinate only in spring when temperatures are warm and water is available, maximizing the chances of seeding survival. Now we'll see here the further significances. The next is the spreading out germination. In many stories, not all seeds from a single plant will break dormancy. At this stage, the germination is a risk spreading strategy, ensuring that even if an initial batch of a seed is likely by late, almost or sudden drought, other seeds will be available to germinate later. Now, the next is facilitating my dispersal. Seed dormancy allows seeds to be dispersed over long distance by wind, water, or seeds availability. Now, the next one is the agricultural importance. Dormancy is vital for agriculture. It allows for the long term stages of seeds without spoilage, which is artificial for food security. Farmers can also manipulate dormancy artificially. Types of polyembryony. Polyembryony can be classified in different types based on the origin of additional embryos. The first is the cleavage polyembryony. This is the most common type of gymnosperms, a single fertilized egg called zygote or a young embryo divides into two or more independent units. Each unit can develop into a separate embryo. The next is advent polyembryony. This is a type of embryo developed from a diploid somatic cell of a ovule, such as a cell from the numerous or integuments. This is a form of apomixis, as the embryos are genetic clones of the parent plant. This is characteristics of many citrus varieties and mangoes. Now, the next is the simple polyembryony. This occurs when multiple egg cells within a single ovule are fertilized, each by a different pollen grain. This results in a formation of multiple embryos, all of all of which are genetically distinct. This is a common phenomenon in some gymnosperms where more than one archehuman, the female reproductive organ, is present. Now, at last, we'll see the significance of polyembryony. Polyembryony is significant in both biology and agriculture. It has a vast area of significance in horticulture and agriculture, in the genetic diversity, and it increases the survival rate. Now, we'll see in detail the overview of the polyembryony. The first we will see the horticulture and the agriculture. In crops like citrus, advent polyembryony produces unicellular seedlings that are genetically identical to the parent plant. It means it will work mostly in the citrus plants. Okay, it has targeted the citrus plants, and it generates the identical to the parent plant. It does not generate the different species. These seedlings are more vigorous and the disease free. Mostly it is used as the disease free seedlings. Okay, to produce high quality and uniform fruits. It produces the uniform equal formation of fruits, and it gives you a high quality yield. It will it gives the uniformity and high quality, high quantity, and plus the disease free plants. This bypasses the need for more complete and costly propagation method like grafting. This will work in the grafting methods. It will work as an grafting. It won't work in cutting and the other methods of propagation. Now we'll see here the next thing, that is genetic diversity. While ad- adventive embryony produces clones, it produces the clones of the advent embryony, okay, and simple polyembryony and cleavage polyembryony can lead to the genetic diversity. Okay, it shows a vast diversity in the genomic sector by creating embryos from different sources. It from the different sources it produces the different source of the genetic cleavages, okay, or form from the splitting of a single zygote. It's the single zygote will split and it converts or it divides into the multiple zygotes, which can be beneficial for adaptation to new environments. Okay, so in an environment, it shows the vast variety and the beneficial seedlings also. Now, the next one is increased survival rate. It as it is disease free and high in quality, and it has the vast genetical variety, it survives by more time. The development of multiple embryos from a single seed increases the likelihood that at least one seedling will survive and mature, especially under harsh conditions. No matter how harsh conditions will be there, it will survive in any other harsh conditions. Understood? So it beats the dormancy also. It grows in under the unfavorable conditions also. It will give you the vast variety of the seedlings.